whack it.
Oh, God.
Or like ask boys if they want rides. Like, but you're really strong in many areas. So don't beat up on yourself if you like that, kids, you know, and old men.
Now, I'd bring in the audience member like to just find out how disgusting it is, but I don't, it would hurt me, it would depress me to find out that the audience members like this, so I'm afraid to bring them up.
So none of us can embody everything good in life. Like, there are certain mitzvahs that I'm really strong on, and there are other mitzvahs where I'm not so strong on.
Okay.
So, I was in this writing group, and there was this smoking hot chick.
This was yesterday.
And I'm not going to say when, because I don't want to identify anyone. So she read her story, and the story was too long for like the time allotted for each of us to read. So I said, after class, I said, hey, can I read your story all the way to the end, because I really like it. So,
on the way to what?
All the way to the end of the story, because I really wanted to see how it finished.
Okay.
And so I said, you know, I'll just be sitting
Right
outside in the sun reading your story. So I kind of, she said, oh, feel free to take your time. So I took my time, and I read the whole story, like from beginning to end, and she said, you know, if you have any feedback, you know, I'd like to hear it. So I said, well, yeah, I do have some feedback, and I gave her some feedback. And, you know, we talked for about 20 minutes, and then she kind of like ran off. And then this week in class, she says, well, I don't want to identify when this happened. She says, when the teacher asked us to read, well, I couldn't really write anything this week because Luke gave me this feedback, and I just couldn't deal with it, so I wasn't able to write anything this week. So the lesson is, I really need to control my powerful charisma and my searching intelligence and the probing questions that I ask people, because sometimes it can like freeze them. And so I need to like dial that back a little bit, because I felt guilty that I'd done this. Can I get back to my Torah points?
Okay, but just, I'm going to come back to here because we have questions from the audience.
Yeah, I'm almost done. So we'll
get to your Torah points, right? Which one is it? It's this one. Go for it.
Okay, so the purpose of the Jews is to carry God in the world, just like the ancient Jews carried the ark through the desert. So boredom comes from a lack of purpose, not from a lack of things to do, and not from a lack of channels on your TV. So secularism and affluence lead to boredom. So if you're bored, you need to get in touch with what your purpose is in life. If you're Jewish, your purpose in life is to live Judaism. So Jews are a religious civilization, said Mordecai Kaplan. And I think it's true, even though I don't agree with almost anything that Mordecai Kaplan said. I think it's true that Jews are a religious civilization. And our purpose is to carry God.
Mordecai Kaplan?
Yeah. Our purpose is to carry God through the world.
I think he's related to one of our audience members.
So why do secular Jews disproportionately preoccupy themselves with leftist social justice stuff?
We talked about
that
at length.
Because they're bored. They're bored. So if you don't, it's the Jewish instinct to try to change the world, but if you don't do it under the guidance of God, if you don't do it under the guidance of Torah, it's like, oh, I can just go out and change the world on my own ideas. I'm going to like sign up to save homeless gay kids, and that will be my way of saving the world.
Good.
So, go ahead.
All right, we got some, that was very good, by the way. We got some audience, questions from the chat room. I'm trying to read them really fast. D-Medic, who's one of your favorite people, asks, so if I'm understanding correctly, the oral Torah allows both the oral passed to Moses and the compilation of a lot of great minds to shine light on what is real Judaism. Okay, can I answer this here? Yeah. I would say it's oral law. The oral law was given at Sinai from God to Moses. He handed it over to the Jewish people, who've been holding on to it and for generation after generation, all the way down to today. When we talk about in the Talmud, like it'll say like Rabbi so-and-so, and the Talmud says XYZ, it's not that Rabbi so-and-so came up with like, hey, I came up with a great idea, XYZ. It's that he reports XYZ, that's what he heard from his teachers, who heard from their teachers all the way back to Moses. It's in his name because we're quoting him, because somewhere else we may have a different version. Okay, they met satisfied with that answer, and he gets it right, because we're quoting the person who is a reported source, if you will. Like it's journalism, right? We don't just say, oh, you know, it happened, you know, Osama bin Laden's dead. We say, Fox News is reporting that Osama bin Laden's dead, right? That's how we do it. We do it in the name of Fox News. It's not that they made up the story and they just pulled it out of their ass. It's that they're the ones reporting it, and we're reporting it in his name. Okay. And the reason, he says, and the reason one person coming in and trying to make sense of Torah is a problem. It's kind of like one man coming in and trying to redo the work of thousands of scientists. Yeah, when somebody comes in out of nowhere, and starts like coming up with their own ideas in Judaism, that's not Judaism. That is a contradiction of Judaism. That's the opposite of Judaism. Judaism is it's just a pure, I report what was given to me, what I learned from my rebbeim at my yeshivas. That is Judaism. It's the unadulterated and jeopardized transmission of information from one generation to another, and it's got to be done in its authenticity and kept and preserved accurately without somebody coming up with like their own ideas. Okay? Once somebody starts coming in and they start, well, I got a really good idea and I can explain a lot of this, and I got like my own spin on everything, that's no longer Judaism. That's whoever came up with that idea. That could be Pragerism or Leviism or whoever like thought it through on their own. That's their ideas, but it's not Torah, because Torah is a transmission of knowledge that was already given at Sinai by God. Yeah, corruption, delusion, and confusion. Those are the results that take place once it's not an accurate reporting, but instead someone's coming up with their own ideas. In other words, it's too complex and easy to fool yourself if you don't use the support of the oral. Exactly, because if you're not, I'd say deeper, if you're not following that which was taught to you by people who have already learned it and have kept it in its authenticity, the way it's been preserved, authenticated, and without a compromise to the integrity, compromising the integrity of the information from God at Sinai until now, you're not going to be following Judaism. You're going to be following like some perverted offshoot from Judaism. You're not following Judaism.
In short, folks, oral is moral.
Okay, thanks for that. Almost 21. Happy birthday to Bubba Metzia. Okay, so that's what I'm saying to you. I hope that answers your question, D-Medic. Okay, there's another. Understood the whole thing from the start. Okay, that's real good. So I think we answered all the questions. Any questions from our audience members tonight? No, they're good because they're busy with witchcraft. Okay.
They're busy being married. Like married people, they have
no time for other people. Once you get married, all your friends go out the window. It's like you just like you hang out with your spouse and that's it. And then once you have the first kid, even your family members, like nobody wants to talk to you. They don't, unless they need help of some sort. Like, okay, can you watch the kid because we want to go out on Saturday night or something. Then everybody gets called, right? We need a babysitter or something.
So what percentage of wives do you think put the kids before their husband?
All of them.
I'd say like 70% probably. Like, he's enjoying it. Oh, it's so nice having her attention and, really loving this and this is how it's going to be forever. And then the kid comes along and is like, meh, meh. Like, sorry, honey, I got to run to take care of little Buster.
That's why.
Malcolm Mendel.
Right. If you're not into that whole scene, then don't do what I do and just, don't have kids.
So I had this girlfriend.
Right.
Her name was Holly. And her mother was a famous erotic photographer.
We've talked about her. You've already done it. You've already done this story.
I was just reminiscing.
Oh, okay. You got anything fresh and new to say that's related to Torah? You got anything Torah-dic to talk about?
Well, it's just that I saw the depravity of the pornography industry up close and personal. Because she would take photos, like her job, Holly's job, was to take photos of naked women. Mm-hmm. And then she'd come home and she'd say, oh, I really want you to look at this because, the colors are so artistic. And, I'd look at these, obscene photos and just the degradation of the human condition, the divine image in these models, like where is the divine image when your legs are spread like this?
Okay.
Like, where is the divine in there?
I said, do you have anything Torah related? And that's what we have from you. That's what we have.